All right, let's get over to the kitchen and check in for the first time today with ABC7 Culinary Director Judi Gallagher. Judi, I see a lot of fruits and vegetables over there today.
That's right, Scott. It's countdown to Thanksgiving. So we have two things we're going to be doing today. In a little while, I'm going to talk to you about potatoes. It's important to know which potatoes to use for mashed, which to use for smashed, which to use for au gratin, and which to use for your sweet potato casserole. So we're going to cover all that in just a few minutes. Then a little bit later, we're going to make a beautiful light salad with red pear and pistachio and a lemon creme fraiche vinaigrette. So you get that creaminess with it. To me, the salad course with a loaf of crusty bread from the Bavarian Bread Company is just what I want, maybe a wedge of cheese, before we get into the hearty cooking and eating. So stay with me throughout the hour, and we will talk everything from potatoes to produce to great salads for your holiday feast. Hi there, Scott. So let's talk spuds, okay? Because sometimes it gets a little confusing and intimidating when you're thinking about making mashed potatoes. What's the difference between smashed and au gratin and sweet potatoes? Let's start over here, right here with the red potatoes. First thing the news director said to me this morning, you are going to have red potatoes, right? Of course we are. Now, the great thing about red potatoes, you don't have to peel them. Wash them really well. I rinse them twice. And that's something you want to use just a potato masher with, so you'll still leave those chunks of mashed potatoes in. Chef potatoes, these big bad boys right here, you're seeing them in a lot of different farm stands. I find them right over at Yoder's Produce Market. They're great for a soup, a potato leek soup. I just made New England clam chowder this weekend, and it worked perfectly with that. You can use them for mashed, but I'm going to give you a better trick in a minute. Now we have, of course, your russet potatoes, your Idaho potatoes. Those are the best ones to use for au gratin potatoes, and the larger ones for the baked stuffed potato. They're a meatier, heartier potato, and that's why. We have the little yellow creamers. Those are another great potato to use for mashed potatoes. You can leave the skin on, but the bigger creamer potatoes, it'll come in generally about this size, is the best. The Yukon Gold potatoes are what you want to use for your mashed potatoes. Now, you always want to use a ricer if you can. This size costs about $30 at one of the kitchen stores, but they kind of last for about 30 years. What I like about the newer models is you can change how much you want. So if you want them a little denser, it can be that. I like them very fine with lots of butter, just like Eric Repair does. Now, sweet potatoes. We've all seen the sweet potatoes, the yams. Both work great for a sweet potato casserole. Now you're going to start seeing a lot of the Japanese sweet potatoes. They have a whitish flesh to them, and they are sweeter. So the benefit is that you probably use less sugar when you're making a sweet potato casserole. Definitely going to peel those either way, but what's nice about either of these, if you want to roast, just cut them in wedges, scrub off that skin first, cut them in wedges, olive oil in the oven with salt and pepper, and you're all set. So when I come back, it's time to start my salad with a little creme fraiche dressing, and we will have courses ready to go. So we talked spuds earlier, so you know which to use for the mashed and which for the au gratin. Now let's make a simple dressing for a salad. To me, the salad course is my favorite because I like the crunch. There's a lot of mushy food on Thanksgiving, and I really enjoy that salad to start out with. So I have some beautiful fresh baby greens that I got at Warden Farms. They're finally back in the beginning of November. They start up in the downtown farmers market. If you don't make it to the farmers market, getting the Organic Girl greens are great, and you can find them in most grocery stores. So I prefer that. Now it does say it comes washed. Always wash your greens a second time. Let's get into the dressing because I think this is the real star. I'm going to take creme fraiche. Creme fraiche is similar to a sour cream, but it is also made with some heavy cream. So it's not quite as bitter, very, very creamy. Also a nice touch to add into your mashed potatoes, hint, hint. Now we're going to take the juice of 2 whole lemons. I prefer not to use the juice in the bottle, but definitely the fresh because you're going to really see the difference. And for time's sake, we'll get that third one squeezed. I love using different salts. In fact, I have a separate salt cabinet. And for today, I'm using the rosemary basil salt from the Spice and Tea store up in St. Armand's. And I love this flavor, and especially because I have rosemary with the turkey, that's going to help balance that flavor. I'm going to take some white balsamic vinegar, and we're only going to need a teeny bit of olive oil because we have that creaminess from the creme fraiche already. So there we go. So we have that. And then just a touch of orange blossom honey, whatever type of local orange blossom honey you can get. And there are so many great local honeys, also good for allergies. A taste, oh yeah, it's ready to go. So in with the greens, I have some sliced red pear and a few sliced red tomatoes, because I always use seedless red tomatoes as my garnish with pomegranates and greens for my actual turkey display. We're going to use pistachio nuts, but by all means you could use slivered almonds. And then we're going to drizzle that dressing in, put in some extra sliced fennel, and then use the tops, the fond's right there as well in your salad. We're going to toss that up, and it's just going to be the perfect start for Thanksgiving. So we're going to keep going all the way through to Thanksgiving Day. I'll be here the morning of Thanksgiving to take your calls and then help you prepare a beautiful Thanksgiving meal for your family. Stay back. We'll be coming in for a taste in just a few minutes.
The salad is fantastic. I love the fruit at this time of year.
Oh, me too. The red pears are so juicy. I mean, you bite into them and the juice just...
Explosion.
It totally. And I've got that great sea salt that has the rosemary and dried basil in it. Some fresh lemon juice and creme fraiche. How easy is that?
Very easy.
A little bit of honey, and it's so smooth. You can get this recipe and so much more by going on mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining page, and it's Wednesday, so you can enter to win a gift certificate to one of our great dining page sponsors. So I'm excited, John.
Yes, indeed. And I love your suggestion about using a ricer for your mashed potatoes, because it does make a tremendous difference, doesn't
And
it?
you use that and about 2 pounds of butter.
You're good to
all
go.
Set.
Scott.